Hi everyone, it's Natalie here. You can actually see me now. Alright, so this video we're going to do Scorpio. This is going to be the general love reading. There's also going to be a single reading, so if you're super single, then check that out. If you're in a situationship, you may be somewhere in between, or you may resonate with one more than the other, and that's okay. So yeah, we're going to focus on the general love reading. What we also do in this video is have a past, present, and future spread, and then we also, after that, will go into the feminine and masculine energy, so feminine, masculine, and then the in-between, and that kind of lets you know where you are, where the other person is in this connection currently. So, and then I usually pull some oracle cards, but I don't have any on hand immediately. Hold on. Which one are we going to get? Which oracle cards? Okay. Whee! The Queen of the Moon Oracle. So this is the Radiant Rider Waite Tarot in the tin version, so it's smaller, easier to shuffle. And then we've got Queen of the Moon Oracle, which we'll get to at the end as well for extra messages. I'm using the full moon cards, so the moonology cards with the full moon for all the signs. So for you, it says it's time to release negativity, and that is your main focus right now. You and possibly your person. So what we're going to do, can I move this a little bit better? Because I need to lean over to the table. Okay. It's hot today. Whew. Also got a couple of new crystals joining the fam, including some moldavite. I know, I was just kept getting the impression that I should get some. That's going to be a trip. Wish me luck with that. If you know, you know. So let's have a look at the past, present, and future for Scorpio, please. People who have a connection or a person around them in their energy. So that showed itself and then it went back in. That's more about not waiting for things to happen, not waiting for the universe to take care of things for you. That's way too many cards. Past, present, and future, please. So can we get some for the past, starting out with? I also saw the sun wanted to flash itself. Happiness. Tempting. Okay, whoops. Something to do with your family where you were more of an introvert in the past. Okay. Now let's get into your present energies as well for this connection. For those of you who are married, I guess that would very much make sense because it's the Ten of Pentacles, or in the committed relationship. That would just be signifying that. The Hermit would be going within. Introspection, really figuring out what it is that you want out of this connection, because there's been a heartbreak here, something, a disappointment or a separation, even if it was temporary, and then new communication coming in with a resurrection or a revival. So you were able to work that out in the past. Could be just family differences as well. Doesn't have to be with your person specifically, it could be their family or your family where there was an issue. Particularly would be very prominent if you guys have mixed families, like with children and other people involved, where it's a bit more complicated, or spiritual belief differences, cultural differences, that kind of thing. So what's the future of the connection? Can we have a look at the current energies? If they stay on their current path, what the future energy is, please. Oh, another one flipped over. That one just kind of sat in my hand. But yeah. Just sat there. Just conveniently placed itself upon my hand. So what we have here is you've got the Ten of Pentacles. Like I said, we kind of already went over your past energy. So family, connection, a very solid, stable thing. Possibly like an engagement or marriage. And then that introspection or needing to be alone for a while, or a separation. where you communicated to each other that you wanted to revive this or wanted to, work on this, because it is your Ten of Pentacles that you both recognize for each other. Okay? Currently, I do see that the more masculine energy, could be you or your person, is being very selfish or controlling of the situation. I do see a new perspective. These are all major arcana, so you have a very heavy energy currently, meaning that there's going to be a lot going on. You could be feeling a bit overwhelmed, and that is also the Tower, which is our emotional chaos, as well as something that wasn't. I feel like it's definitely more emotional chaos in this particular scenario, okay? Instead of a foundation that was built on something faulty that had to be torn down. It's more emotional chaos and the need for control. So if you have controlling tendencies, please be aware of that and try to work on that, because that's what's holding you back currently. The need for a new perspective is definitely key here with the Hanged Man. Alright, so try to do things in a totally different way. Try a new approach to things, even if you think it's a bit silly. This could indicate maybe counseling or seeking advice. Even just looking up, how people have advice videos. Not that all of them have good advice in it, mind you. So just take what you think would actually be helpful, on YouTube and that. So, use your own discernment around that. But try to let go of these control issues, because that could also be Aries energy. Or, it's more Aries energy. We've also got, in your future, the Strength card, the need to be vulnerable and honest with one another, the outpouring of emotions. So again, you need to kind of let things go. Maybe you've been holding on to a lot and you haven't addressed certain things, and it's going to eventually end up in an outpouring of emotion that would have been best if we dealt with this when the problems arose, but that need for control or composure possibly got in the way of that. So they'll end up being an outpouring of emotion, and as you could even be doing that with a friend or your community with that Ten of Cups here, because that usually indicates a friendship group or, like I said, therapy, general community around you. But it does signify that there is some sort of solidarity, which is this crystal. Interestingly enough, that's something that it represents. So community, group settings, being together, and coming together with your person. Alright, so coming from a more vulnerable space, being honest with one another about your emotions, starting with you first. It's up to them if they want, to reciprocate, but if you have the expectations of reciprocation, that could also be a problem. But you've got a lot of major arcana, so a lot of big changes, a lot of heavy energies or things going on, because you're growing and evolving, you're trying to become a better person, trying to let go of these control issues and really move forward, and being mindful that you're not, stinging people, Scorpio, with that tail. Be mindful. Okay, so let's have a look at you and your person. This came out kind of sideways. So for the masculine energy, I'm getting that they're not sure if they feel ostracized or left out in the cold, or if they're accepted or not, and that's kind of a struggle that they have. Could be with you, I feel like it's more within the relationship itself. So the King of Wands in the reverse could be that they're very frustrated, or particularly sometimes when I see the King and Queen of Wands in the reversed energy, is more frustration within yourself and sometimes passive aggressiveness. So this person just doesn't really know where they stand with the current situation, and it's causing insecurities to become a hyperfixation for them, is what I was getting. So don't know why it was those words specifically, but hey. On the feminine side, this is somebody who rushes into communication without thinking of the consequences. They could be drinking or having, this is also masking, I just got, so that's a new meaning for that one. Putting on a bit of a facade and masking their true emotions through means, not just like alcohol means, but like literal masking, if you know what that is. If you don't, just look it up. It's a coping mechanism, very common, especially for, actually it's common in men too. You've always got to, look the part, be stable, right? But that has consequences, doesn't it? So together, you don't really want to wait for things to get better on their own. You're both wanting to take action, so it's good that there is a willingness here to do that. Remember, the overall message is that it's time to release negativity, so keep that in mind moving forward. Address any issues that need to be addressed to the extent that you're both satisfied, where you can actually let things go and move forward with things. So yeah, I hope that helped. We're going to get some oracle cards, don't forget. So it's not over yet. We're getting there. Oh, goodness me. Our Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. What other messages do we have? We have self-love, waxing crescent. I think we're in the waning moon currently when I'm doing this, but this is energy building up for self-love. So there is a, what's that called? Momentum building for self-love within your family, so within the connection between the two of you. So could be healing from older family ties and issues. Abundance, the hunter moon. 8, 9, 10, 11. There's a lot of abundance here. So when you love yourself and are coming more from a heart space, then it opens up to a whole other world of possibilities. Darkness, long night moon, could also be talking dark night of the soul, but whatever the shadow is, what I'm getting, whatever the shadow is, or the elephant in the room is around your connection, it is being asked to be addressed. So that it's kind of like, do you really want to wait another 10 years before we talk about this and go into detail about this? Because there are certain aspects that might bother me, there are certain aspects that might bother you, they could be very different. We should be mature enough to be able to have a conversation about it, Might not be that deep, but it's definitely something that will cause or build into a bigger problem further down the line if we don't. So it's being asked to be addressed now. Okay, and self-love and self-acceptance is part of this process too, but I do see a lot of abundance and growth in the connection coming with this. So I hope that helped you. Let me know if you like this little setup. I did change it a wee bit, so yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You can also join me over on TikTok for little mini readings. If you want to book a personal reading, the link for my Etsy store is in the description box below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!